It's just a couple of minutes away. Okay, this is approaching quickly, moving 40+ miles per hour. A tornado. We're seeing strong indications now crossing Highway 77, giving you the first alert. Grayton, Middleton, Ohatchee, a first alert for a tornadic storm. Strong radar indicators here. And we're going to watch this closely to see if we have any indications of a touchdown. But at the moment, radar is telling us some very strong circulation. There it is right there. You see, this is what we call gate-to-gate shear, inbound, outbound winds crossing around Highway 77. That is right around Reagan Chapel. That's crossing around Boiling Springs. North of where you would have the tornado, you've got the hail core. So a lot of this is sort of textbook here structurally. So in addition to the tornado, you've got the strong straight line winds, and likely around Francis and Ohatchee right now we have some very large hail and definitely some loud rumbles and some intense lightning as that storm tracks to the east. Next up, if you're along the Highway 431 corridor south of Caldwell, need you to get to the safe place right now, because this is moving to the east direction. It's moving towards Highway 431, and I don't see an indication that this is going to let up. This is one of those storms like what we're seeing across North Alabama. It's got quite a track to it here, but now it's moving into Ohatchee. And what we probably want to do, Matt, is get in the street level on this and name some of these roads really close to where this is crossing. We'll bring in some velocity as well on this, but that warning goes until 12:15. So this will move all the way across the county. So here it is, the circulation. Matt's getting in really close, and we'll pivot the map, and some of these, all you got to do is probably turn it, and you'll see some of the names. Go try the other way. There you go. So you can see the roads, and you can see the names there. Boiling Springs Road, there's Middleton. Here's where it just crossed at Highway 77 there at Reagan Chapel. So this is Boiling Spring Road where it's crossing. Ingram Wells, Middleton to the north. Let's see, there's Ohatchee. Right there, Middleton. So this is all around. We'll go in even closer. Matt's trying to bring in. Matt, can you get in some of these roadways here? We'll zoom in. What do we have right there?
Not popping up.
Yeah, just go right here and pivot the map. I see some names here for folks they can see at home, some of the roadways. But this is, St. Clair County's been canceled from the tornado warning. So St. Clair County, you have been canceled from the tornado warning at this time. So St. Clair County, some good news. You have been canceled from the tornado warning. So anywhere from Harts Ferry Road, from the baseball, softball park there at Ohatchee, point south, I was mentioning around Boiling Springs Road. This is going to move along Highway 144 again. It's just kind of holding right there along Highway 144. There's Middleton. There's Gates Road. If you hear any of these roadways I'm calling out, you could be impacted by this. The rotation is a little bit broader based on what we're seeing. Matt's showing you some areas out in the path of this. Here's Highway 431. Looks like it is going to cross not far from Alexandria. So Alexandria, Melrose, Peaceburg, and Moore's Crossroads. All of these locations giving you that first alert. You can see the path. This is where the system is going to bring the possible tornado. There's Alexandria and Melrose, brings it right across Highway 431 here south or near Alexandria. There's Brutonville. So this is the path and where this could cross. So we're giving you the first alert. Alexandria, this is out ahead of it. We're giving you some lead time here so you know that it's moving in that direction. If we follow along, here's Weaver. And I mentioned Weaver earlier, Anniston to Weaver. I want everyone in this area in your safe place. The polygon does not include Jacksonville. You can see it stops there, but it's close enough. We're going to deal with some strong winds around Jacksonville, but you can see anywhere south of Jacksonville, seek shelter in case this changes. Sometimes these tornado tracks are kind of chaotic. They'll waver, they'll move north, they'll move south, and sometimes, it's like tracking a rogue missile. That's why we stay with you wall to wall on TV. We watch these things as they evolve and as they move along. But tonight is a night we haven't seen in quite some time with the weather radio outages. We want to make sure everyone's getting the alert, and please, if you know someone in this area, you can call, you can text, let them know. That is a strong indication south of Ohatchee. That's Boiling Springs Road right here, and that's south of Ohatchee. I mentioned around Ohatchee the youth baseball park's right in this area. Highway 77's right here. Boiling Springs, Ohatchee, Boiling Springs Road. That's where the tornado's crossing. It's going to happen between Ohatchee and Morrisville. That's where the tornado's crossing. So Ohatchee looks like the strongest signal of circulation just south of you. It's moving right along this line. This is good data right here that you see on our system. When it paints this line, that is a forecast track. You need to pay close attention to that, and that's bringing that right here across Highway 431 if that holds together. So at the moment, the strongest circulation, I mentioned, is just south of Ohatchee. It looks like it's going to cross out here. It's running right along Highway 144 again. If you're anywhere from Ingram Wells Road, Ben Jones Drive, Oak Meadow Event Center, out around Collins Road, this is closing in on those areas right now. So anywhere from Ingram Wells Road, Middleton Road, as Matt was showing you, Middleton was on the map a few moments ago. Middleton Road, there's Morrisville, Ingram Wells Road's right in here as well. This is Highway 431, so or 144, I should say. This is Highway 431 here, and this is Highway 144. So it's generally following along just south of 144 as it's moving across Calhoun County. This is towards Bryant Road and Collins Road. So the Oak Meadow Event Center, Collins Road, and the Oak Meadow Event Center is right in this area here. So it looks like Matt is staying just north of, I mentioned Bryant Road a few moments ago. There it is. So Bryant Road, a first alert for you. Gladden Lane, it's about to cross right here. But the overall trend with this, it hasn't been moving north. It's been kind of trending more in this direction. That's why, this line brings this just south of Alexandria. Look, we're in a warning. Want you in your safe spot. I'm just letting you know what we're tracking here, where this is going. We'll let you know when this passes, but there's a broad area in a tornado polygon. The tornado's not this large. I can promise you that, but this is sort of a safe space, right? We want to be extra cautious in this region. That tornado could cross anywhere within this region, and it's right in this zone. I'm just trying to lock in on where we see the tornado crossing right now, just to let you know. And Ohatchee, it has passed you. Rotation has weakened some. You notice that, Matt? It has weakened some. So that's a good sign. So it's just north of Morrisville, still under a warning. There's still some rotation. It's weakened just a little bit. So that's a positive trend. Hopefully that will continue. But now it's north of Morrisville, and it's now moving between Bush and Alexandria along Highway 431. Here's Blue Mountain. Here's Weaver. Anniston down in here. Anniston were included in the tornado warning. Based on the way this is moving, I still think we could have some strong wind gusts, but we may end up seeing this strongest rotation. It may stay just north. Just need to watch it here for the next few scans.
Wes, we can. I think you have access to it, we might want to pinpoint that Jacksonville camera to the south and west, and we might be able to at least see the lightning. Maybe we might be able to see a little bit of the structure of the storm looking from the Jacksonville camera. So just want to let you know, Jacksonville yourself, you're not in that warning. It's just to the south of you. But yeah, I'm sure you're going to be seeing lots of lightning in that area. And you can see in that camera right there that Wes is controlling. We're panning around looking at Jacksonville State. And
is that hail causing it bouncing off there? Or is that just, I guess it's just... Maybe that's just where the rain.
I think it's got to be the rain, but that's a lot of lightning there.
I see some folks. Look at everyone on the road there. Listen, if you can just stay off the roads, let these storms pass. I see a lot of folks on the road there in Jacksonville. I know some people are trying to get from point A to point B and must travel, but if you can avoid it, just let this storm pass. You're going to get a lot of rain, a lot of wind. We're looking in the direction of the tornado. I've got this camera pointed back towards Ohatchee. Back towards Alexandria and Weaver. This is at the library there, the Houston Cole Library in Jacksonville State University. The tornado warning is just south of here. It's not far away, but you see the lightning is almost continuous, and when you see that lightning start to ramp up like that, wind gusts at 31 miles per hour. But this has been a very sluggish storm system trying to get this through here tonight. Nights like this, you just end up with 1 minute it looks like everything's going to be fine. The next minute you get a storm and all of a sudden it produces a big tornado. I've seen that so many times on nights like this with some of these late season, these kind of events. But hopefully, soon we'll be able to sound the all clear. But again, there is a tornado warning happening. And if you're listening back in the control room, if you just want to put links to in a box, we can keep that camera view up so folks can watch at home and we watch as that storm crosses. But right now, the rotation, it has lessened some. It's right around Morrisville, just north of there. It's broadened up some, but there's the track. Matt's going to click on this and just show you some updated first alert times. So listen up here. If you're in Bush, first alert time 11:41. That is along Highway 431. That's just south of Alexandria. If you are,
sorry, I'm trying to. There we go.
Yeah, so Matt's putting these times they update, so that's why we keep updating. We give you those updates. Alexandria around 11:41 and Leatherwood around 11:42, but still a very intense storm. That number hasn't changed. I want to see that number drop off on a scale of 0 to 10. It's about a 4.8, so that number's still holding. It's still a very intense, severe storm. This is a severe storm. When a storm produces a tornado warning, it's a severe storm. So you're going to have winds in here, damaging winds, large hail. You can see that this is a tall storm. You see that top around 39,000. So we're likely seeing all around the state, some lightning from some of these distant storms that have formed out there. We're going to stay with you. This warning is set to go past midnight. You're seeing a live look there from Jacksonville State University, and we are simulcasting right now all across Calhoun County. So those of you who may be in your safe place listening to us on WOXI, WJXI, Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt here with Meteorologist Matt Daniel, and we're back on. It's still a first alert weather day. That tornado watch was going through 1 o'clock in the morning. Matt, that may actually need to be expanded for some of these counties to the south. We'll wait and see well on into the morning hours, but it looks like around 1 o'clock we're going to see that watch. At this point it's set to expire, but with this kind of environment we may need to continue that, so we'll see what the Weather Service decides on that. But right now we're still under a tornado watch, especially for counties to the south of Calhoun County. But we're tracking at this point a tornado warning, an active warning that's in Calhoun County, a severe storm that was showing some very strong signatures of rotation as it moved across Ragland. Where is it right now? It's past Ohatchee. It's moving right along Highway 144, coming in close to Melrose and Alexandria. Looks like the center of circulation is going to pass maybe just south of Alexandria, but you can see even north to Jacksonville. Look at that camera view. We're feeling the impacts all across the county. Heavy rain, frequent lightning, gusty winds, very dangerous storm that's moving in at the moment, and certainly quite impactful. The lightning looks like it's picked up here, Matt.
Yeah,
so
310.
I think that what's going on, this is cycling through again. It may have produced a tornado. And did you check? Let's check debris signature. Let's see if we have a touchdown, if we have signs of a debris signature. We'll go back. You might even have to lapse this back maybe an hour back into St. Clair County, Matt, just to kind of get an eye on it. See if we have a debris signature with this. Well, we don't have a clear debris signature, but what you're seeing, you see all these artifacts in the radar data here to the south? That's just where the radar is kicking up dust, or the wind in general. It's just kicking up leaves, debris, dust, and that's what we're picking up on the radar. That's not rain. So that's what we're seeing there with the debris signature. But as far as just one little area where a tornado has touched down, we're not seeing that. It looks like mostly a lot of the debris, Matt, looked like it was along the gust front. There looked like a lot of leaves being picked up. So at the moment, not seeing a radar indicated touchdown. Not to say we haven't had one, but the model data is not picking, or the radar data is not picking up on a debris signature from where that tornado crossed at Highway 77. So we'll watch the radar data, continue to evaluate, but at the moment what we're seeing is just basically some strong rotation. No guarantee this is on the ground at the moment. It does look like to me that the rotation, while it weakened a bit, it may be trying to intensify, but look where it's crossing, right where this system's taking it, just south of Alexandria, right there across Highway 431. So that line, again, is going to bring this between Weaver and Hillcrest. It's right around Blue Mountain. So north of Blue Mountain and between Weaver, you'll be impacted. So let's go in here, Matt, right there between Alexandria and along Highway 431. All these, let's just follow this line. We'll go to all these roads and really close. So folks in here have that first alert. You have some time to prepare. So you can see the track adjusted some. So here's Halls Chapel Road, Pelham Range Road. That's where the tornado, if it's here, where it's located, where the strongest rotation is. We've been talking about the community of the Bush here along 431 and Leatherwood and Cherokee Trail. That is now where we're seeing the strongest rotation. Looks like it just crossed right there around Cherokee Trail. So we follow along. This is going to cross there, Sachs Road. So it's going to cross around Sachs, Cane Creek Road, Sachs, here's Hillcrest, Glade Road, there's Airport Road, here's Weaver, Pelham Heights, Linlock, McClellan, Fort McClellan Boulevard there, McClellan Boulevard. Listen, if you live anywhere along McClellan Boulevard south of 4 Mile, you're in the path of this, okay? You need to be in that tornado safe space. Also, as we continue to the east, there's Baines Gap Road. So this is from Baines Gap Road all the way to White's Gap and 4 Mile. Anywhere in between, it's going to cross here as well. So you got some minutes to get ready. So we're giving you the first alert before this gets to you. And then the track takes this. It really runs close to Baines Gap Road and Fort McClellan. Let's go. There's White Plains and Whitesides Mill. So you see from Pleasant Ridge to White Plains, and this is Highway 9. It's going to cross right in this area in the eastern part of Calhoun County. So it will be south of Piedmont, south of Rabbittown, south of Piedmont, where this is going to cross. So we just went through, those are all areas in the path of this tornado based on the way it's tracking. We're giving you some minutes, we're giving you some first alert times. We're also watching, Matt, do we have other storms? Let's look at the big picture here quickly.
I was going to mention, just to give a brief update, again, we'll zoom it back out and show you the big picture. I just want to let you know that the tornado watch, they're going to be clearing that out for Blunt and Pickens, but they're also going to continue the tornado watch for everyone else, and they're going to extend it until 2 o'clock in the morning. So that watch was until 1. Looks like they're going to extend that tornado watch up until 2. But just wanted to let you know, if you're in Pickens and Blunt County, the tornado watch has now been canceled where you're at. We are tracking some stronger storms down towards Tuscaloosa, right along 20, near the coaling area, Woodstock. It's approaching West Blockton. I'm going to look at velocity. Not seeing any signature, maybe some gusty winds with that, but of course we'll have to watch these storms as they continue to push off to the east. The environment's still favorable for strong and severe storms, but of course the most active storm that we're tracking right now is in Calhoun County. This includes just clips, a little bit of Anniston. I think the main rotation, if there is a tornado, is going to be north of downtown Anniston towards the Hillcrest Weaver area, and that's what we've been tracking over the past several minutes. But still looking at a decent signature on radar. We're seeing that couplet when we say green and red meets together. That's where we're starting to see it. I will say it looks kind of broad in ways, but still a strong enough signature where we could easily still get 60-mile-per-hour winds from the storm alone. So just want to give you that first alert. Looking at the BTI number, it's a 4.8, so it's pretty elevated, and usually when that number gets near 5 or above, confidence is increasing. We're getting something, whether it's strong winds or possibly a tornado, but this storm is moving pretty quickly off towards the east, right around 30-40 miles per hour. But that's the main storm that we're watching right now at this particular hour. Let me take this off. We'll put back on reflectivity. And towards the Weaver area, starting to see those purple colors. In fact, I'm going to take this off, and we're going to take a look at the triple threat. And yeah, it's picking up a little bit of shear there, Wes. I don't know if you're seeing that.
Yeah, it's definitely intensifying again. The Weather Service was noting, watching for that re-intensification. So the way it's passing here at the moment, Matt, we need to really stress folks around McClellan Road and Highway 21 and Weaver Road. That's about where this is crossing. This is right there around Basil Gates Road and basically it's Weaver. I mean, where this is moving in right now, we're seeing that strong rotation. There's Alexandria, and let's go back to velocity. Let me just look at that one more time. There's Sachs right here. Here's Highway 431 in Weaver. Yeah, it's going to be moving in right here around Weaver to Sachs and crossing just north of Blue Mountain. But the rotation, it continues as it seems like it's broadening. It starts to intensify again. So at any moment, this could put down a tornado. So let's just stay put. Let's stay sheltered. If you're around Linlock Lane, Shipley Road, all those locations there around Basil Gate Road, as I mentioned, and the lows north towards Weaver Road. I mean, the Calhoun County Sports Complex is in here. That's right in this area as well. So again, all these locations in the path of this, just stand by. We'll let you know when this passes. You can see it's right over Sachs, and Weaver, where we have the strongest rotation that I'm watching at this time, as Matt was noting. And what you're seeing in the corner of your screen, that is a live look from Jacksonville State University, and that is from the Houston Cole Library. It has not let up. I mean, it has just been steady lightning, like the strobe effect. And every time I see that, a memory always goes back Fultondale night. Not to say we're going to have that kind of tornado, but that's the kind of lightning. When you see a tornadic storm, just look at that. It's just almost continuous. And there's, in the meteorology textbooks, you know, a lot of folks have been storm tracking for a long time, and something I learned a long time ago, they'll tell you a lot of times you'll see that lightning frequency really ramp up before a storm produces a tornado. So that's something that always grabs my attention when I see that, and just keep that in mind. Anytime you see a night like this and you see that lightning really picking up like that, that's why many times, you know, Matt, you're able to actually see the tornado. But let's go in really close to, I want to go in really close to some of these roads here.
Yeah, and I was going to tell you, as we were watching that video, Wes, and as you were talking, I was looking at the total strikes. It has increased by 15 in like the 1 minute you were just talking. It was around 300, now it's 314 strikes, now at 316. So that lightning is actually increasing as we speak. So that storm's not weakening by any means.
There you go. I mean, that's a sign. 15 strikes, just as we've been sitting here talking about it. Let's get back to radar, though. Let's go in really close to where that tornado would be, and here it comes around Sachs and Weaver. Now, Alexandria, this has passed our area, okay? This is now crossing around Sachs Road. It looks like it went just a little south. I know we're talking about the Weaver area. There's Lindlock Lane I talked about, Hillcrest, there's Glade Road. And this is right over Sachs and Bryan Avenue, and it's now crossing Highway 21. It just crossed Highway 21. There we go. We just got a new scan. It has crossed Highway 21. It's now across McClellan Boulevard, and it's now moving towards Rocky Hollow Road. So first alert, Rocky Hollow Road. It's about to be crossing Rocky Hollow Road, that strongest rotation. And we're monitoring Highway 21. This is right around Summerall Gate Road as well. Crossing Blue Mountain Ridge and moving in the direction of Lenox Avenue and Shipley Road, Morton Road. It has crossed Lindlock Lane now, and it's moving through, Matt, an area. We have a lot of businesses, we have a lot of homes in here, and a very populated area. And for a lot of you, just stand by. You know, we'll get this through here fairly quickly. Hopefully we don't have a tornado touching down. A lot of rotation with this at the moment, though. Let's get in really close. Again, there's Highway 21. Here it is right in here. It looks like it has crossed Highway 21, McClellan Boulevard, and I would paint it, Matt, right in here south of, there's Lindlock, just south of this Lindlock Road area. Let's go in right here really close and show some of these roadways for folks in here where it's at. There's Rocky Hollow Road. That rotation somewhere in this, from Rocky Hollow Road back into Baines Gap Road. It has shifted a little bit. I mentioned at one point it looked like it was going to stay just north of Baines Gap, but you can see the track now is that tornado, or the circulation, has wavered some, and that's taking this now more towards Baines Gap Road and Rocky Hollow Road. So Baines Gap Road, Rocky Hollow Road, if you're anywhere watching me in those communities, get to the safe spot hopefully soon. The strongest rotation looks like it may be now starting to slide just to the south of Sachs, but you're still going to have the lightning, the loud rumbles, the threat of damaging winds. So the threat is far from over as far as the severe storm, but that tornadic threat, where the tornado may be passing just to your south, if it is producing some damage here, this is going to be likely hard to see. And you're not going to see it from this camera view north of the storm. If we have some spotters to the south, you know, you might see something, but it definitely looks like it's more, there's a lot of rain in here.
Yeah, it's got to be rain wrapped.
Yeah, it's got to be rain wrapped.
Yeah, you're not going to see it for sure. You'll hear it, but you won't see it.
So this is, Matt, this looks like it's moving towards Bel Air Road, and I'm looking closely here because I want to be able to sound the all clear for some folks. I think Alexandria, this has passed again. You're in good shape. Hopefully, you know, at least the winds and the rain, the heavy rain will start to settle down around Halls Chapel Road, Sachs Road, I do think the strongest circulation has passed there.
Yeah, and if there's any good news I can give you is, we have technology to be able to see if there's been debris lofted in the air to confirm if there's a tornado. Been looking at some of that radar technology. It's called correlation coefficient. It would really allow you to see that. I haven't seen it, and it's been moving over populated spots. So obviously, if there was a tornado, that debris would be lofted and we would easily see it. So that's good news, but I still don't want to give it an all clear. It's still showing signs of cycling. These supercells that we're looking at, they cycle. Sometimes they can broaden out and weaken just a little bit, and then a few minutes later, they intensify. In fact, I feel like that's what kind of happened with this cell. We were watching weak rotation right when we ended our show, and then about 10 minutes later, it cycled back up, and it really intensified really quickly. And then, of course, here we are showing you this tornado warning in Calhoun County. So we're going to continue to watch this. No doubt it is producing non-stop lightning. You can see the lightning right behind me. It's just constant there in Jacksonville. The warning itself is south of your area, so you're not going to have any issues regarding tornadoes, but you're definitely going to get fireworks, Mother Nature's fireworks for sure, and very heavy rain. And we're seeing that rain just hitting the lens, going back and forth, back and forth. And you can see the wind gusting there at 31 miles per hour. And if that temperature is correct, it's still 81 degrees, and it's almost midnight, Wes. So obviously this rain is going to help cool things off just a little bit. But once again, a tornado warning out there for Calhoun County. This is set to expire at 12:15, and we're still seeing if they're going to extend this warning even farther to the east, and if they do, we'll let you know. But if you're in the Pleasant Ridge area, Joseph Springs, you're in line of this rotation where right now you're seeing that green versus red. We always say when green versus meets red, could go under the bed. We're seeing that circulation. It's rather broad, though, would you say, Wes?
Yeah, it doesn't look quite as robust as what we were seeing around Raglan earlier. But what I want to do right now is go in again. This is moving in around Fort McClellan, right there around Highway 21, and you see there's Pleasant Ridge, Baines Gap Road, Chocolaco Road. Here's White Plains. Here's Highway 9. This is moving, it's past Rocky Hollow Road now. So this is closing in. This is moving in towards Pleasant Ridge. Here's the circulation right in here. It's still a broad circulation. This could be putting down. We can't see what's actually in contact with the ground. So this could be producing a low-end tornado possibly at this time. This rotation doesn't look as intense and confined as what we're seeing when this started out around Raglan, but this is further away from the radar site. But as we monitor this, this storm is tracking over towards Pleasant Ridge and Joseph Springs, so you still could have a tornado here, but it's moving quickly. And listen, this is past Highway 21, Anniston. This is past the city of Anniston. It's past Sachs now, past Blue Mountain. This is what we're concerned about. It's not this. The worst of this has now passed. It's this circulation right here that we're tracking, and now it's moving towards Pleasant Ridge, Joseph Springs. Here's Highway 9. So White Plains all the way to Joseph Springs. You need to be in your safe place. We'll let you know once this has passed, and hopefully we get this through here without a touchdown as that circulation. What you're looking at is you're just looking at precipitation, basically, that's moving towards and away from the radar. And with the Doppler radar effect, what we can determine is if those raindrops are moving towards and away from the radar, or those targets are moving towards and away from the radar. So it's something, we've been looking at Doppler radar since the late 80s, right? And what we can do is we can indicate via radar if a tornado's here. So it's not like having someone there to see an actual tornado, but we're seeing radar indications. So that's take comfort in knowing we don't have confirmation at this point of a confirmed tornado. It's radar indicated. Just stay in your safe place. We will let you know once that threat has passed. And it has passed Sachs, it's past Weaver, it has passed Blue Mountain, it's past Anniston, even though it is absolutely pouring right now in the Anniston area. We got some very strong winds around Blue Mountain. But with something like this that I have seen a lot of times, and Matt, just take the view out just a little bit further. I want to show folks at home something that when you have storms like this, you've got to watch. We call this convective burst point, the southern tip of the line, where you have these storms that regenerate. Sometimes, even though we've got a radar indicated tornado, if that does continue to weaken, we might, on the tail end of this, I didn't want to go this, let's go in just a little bit further here. You know, we need to watch what's happening south of Anniston with this line, because if that tries to re-intensify as this moves down into Talladega, Clay County, I just want to let you know, let's stay weather alert for these areas further south, just in case the tail end of this line sort of re-intensifies. You know what I'm talking about, Matt. You get those storms, you get one upstream that weakens, and then another storm takes over downstream. That's always a possibility we need to watch out for later this evening.
Yeah, that's right. And watching the National Weather Service, it looks like they're not going to extend that tornado warning into Cleburne, but they're going to probably issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Cleburne County. So just want to give Cleburne County that first alert for that strong storm. And once again, when a storm has a history of producing a tornado, it can always cycle back up. Notice in Georgia, tons of those yellow polygons blinking back and forth, indicating severe thunderstorm warnings there just north of Metro Atlanta. I've been watching a little bit of the chat and on Facebook with our live stream. A lot of people are asking a lot of questions, and so I do want to give you a brief overview real quick, and then we'll go right back to that storm. If you're mainly north and west of 2059, the threat's really coming to an end. It's mainly areas south of 2059 that we're going to be watching. Yes, there is a stronger storm there in northern portions of Bibb County, near the West Blockton area, moving into Pelham, Alabaster, Shelby County. I've been looking at the velocity image for this. No signs of rotation with this, but definitely some heavy rainfall. And just looking at the lightning, not as intense with lightning as what we're seeing there in Calhoun County, where we're seeing hundreds of lightning strikes in just 15 minutes. Looking at about 60 lightning strikes within this particular storm impacting West Blockton, moving into the southern portions of Shelby County. So we'll zoom on out. We still have some showers there and around Trussville, around perhaps in around Pell City, but the worst of the weather looks to be off to your east, and we're still watching that Warren storm there in Calhoun County, where we're seeing now a new severe thunderstorm warning out there in effect for parts of Cleburne County. Do you want to quickly show you this tornado watch, who's in it and who's not? It looks like they've cleared the tornado watch. If you're in Marion, Winston, Coleman, Blount, Walker, Fayette, Lamar, and Pickens, you are clear. You can go to bed and not have to worry about severe weather. They're still holding on to that watch, though, for Tuscaloosa and into Jefferson counties and into Blount and Etowah. Hopefully, we'll be seeing those counties next, but until then, we still have this watch, and it's been extended, by the way, up until 2 o'clock this morning. Wes?
Okay, Matt, and this is a live look at... Check, check. Okay. All right. Hey, Matt, this is a live look from McCully Hill right now. This is in Bibb County, and this is a live look from one of our First Alert new Sky Vision cameras, and you can see the rain is coming down. That storm that Matt was talking about, we're also tracking that's moving through Tuscaloosa County down into Bibb County. That is a storm that could go severe, so we need to watch that if you're in Centerville, if you're in Bibb County, but a live look from McCully Hill here, one of the new Alabama Lightwave cameras from our First Alert Sky Vision network. Let's get back over to radar, Matt. We'll check that storm out as well, but we do have a tornado warning. Let's go to the latest First Alert time on this. I want to make sure that we give you those latest times, and you can see around 12:02, Chocolaco, Joseph Springs around 12:03, Iron City 12:04. There's White Plains around 12:04, Whitesides Mill around 12:08, Cleburne around 12:08 in the morning. Moving east at 38 miles per hour. Something to note, when you look at this BTI, it went from a 4.8, it dropped off. It's down to a 2.6. That storm has weakened on a scale of 0 to 10, so it has weakened some. That is a good sign when we look at this. But that's now about to cross Highway 9, moving out into the eastern part of Calhoun County, DeArmonville. You're going to have some strong wind gusts, some intense lightning, and now we're most concerned about the wind and the hail aspect of this storm. It's evolving more into that risk as this moves into Clay County. We'll monitor this. There's still an active tornado warning. There's still some broad rotation in here. The Weather Service was noting as well. You know, we see this, it looks impressive, then it weakens. It really looked most impressive again when it moved across St. Clair County, approached Raglan, Ohatchee. Hopefully, folks, we're okay there. Hopefully, no damage. We'll follow up to see if we have any ground truth. Matt's checking some of the channels there as well. If we have any ground truth, we'll pass that along. But so far, we're not seeing a lot of confirmation coming in of damage associated with this as the storm has moved along. But again, it's late at night. Keep in mind, weather radios are still out for tonight, so we want to stay with you as we track these storms, give you that first alert every time these warnings are issued. The Weather Service, as you can see, they're very well capable of issuing the warnings. They're still sending those out tonight. So you're going to get that information. The warnings are still coming out tonight. But Matt?
Yeah, I was just looking at the latest. As you said, that BTI number has shrunk, so that's good news. The rotation on velocity looks like it's broadened out. And I'm also taking a close look at the lightning as well. Earlier, when it was increasing, it was right around 350 almost lightning strikes. It's decreased to about 240 to 250 lightning strikes. So all good news. And that orange little line that you saw earlier, that usually is a good way of us knowing if there's a intense wind, that just dropped off the map. So that's also
that's a good sign.
So we like all these improvements. And plus, that warning got extended in Cleburne, but it's not a tornado warning. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. But still,